Hello, I'm Stuart Eglin, Director of NHS R&D Northwest. You're about to watch one of a series of films which we've put together to give you some indication of the kind of health research that goes on across the northwest of England. It's an opportunity to hear from some of the key leaders that lead the different health research organisations, units and centres and the like within the region. And what we've aimed at is to find out a little bit more about what goes on in those organisations and some of the stories and narratives that drive them. I hope you enjoy them and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you.
I'm a consultant psychiatrist in the Manchester Mental Health Trust, a professor of psychiatry in the University of Manchester, and the National Clinical Director for Dementia and Older People's Mental Health. I qualified in medicine many more years than I care to admit to, and I trained in general medicine and then I trained as a psychiatrist. I did a number of research projects and published a number of papers just looking at different treatments for older people with mental health problems, drug treatments for people with Alzheimer's disease, which is the commonest type of dementia. There are people who works in labs who look particularly at the biochemical pathways and look particularly at the changes that we can see in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease, and look at the basic mechanisms of things that are going wrong, ultimately to try and invent things that can stop it happening. As a clinician, the kinds of things that we can see are, for example, on a brain scan. So you can see on a brain scan where there is shrinkage of the brain, which can give rise to the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease or dementia. And that's, if you like, that's the end point of these changes that are seen in the brain. And here in the Northwest, we've got huge amounts of expertise, not just in the universities that we have and are privileged to have in the Northwest, but across the health service and social care and all these things. So the Northwest is really a great place to be interested in research, particularly dementia research. We've done a number of things. We've raised awareness of dementia. So as I said, we now have 1 million dementia friends across the UK, and anyone who's interested, just log on to dementiafriends.org.uk, get all the information there. That's a huge awareness raising. We're looking at ways of diagnosing dementia. One of the things that we found was that we can estimate the number of people who we think have dementia, and when you look at the number of people who actually have a diagnosis, up to a few years ago it was probably only 40%, only a little over a third. And in the last 4 or 5 years we've had lots of awareness campaigns, lots of initiatives, and we'll probably quite soon be approaching 2/3 of the estimated number of people with dementia. So that's a big increase in the number of people with dementia. We've looked at the prescription of medication for people with dementia. Many people with dementia who may be agitated or distressed are often prescribed powerful psychotropic, neuroleptic, antipsychotic drugs. It's the same name for them all, and they can be dangerous. And we've achieved over the last few years a 50% reduction in the use of these medications by looking at care. We've looked at care in the general hospital as well, and there are a number of initiatives that when a person with dementia goes into the general hospital, which is a frightening experience for anybody, but you can imagine what it's like if you've got a bit of memory problems, if you have a bit of confusion anyway. So looking at best care in the general hospital are some of the things that we do. We know that looking after a person with dementia is the most stressful thing that is around, because dementia is unique in that many of the symptoms, people have difficulties with memory and complain of memory, but a lot of the burden and the strain is on the carers. Having the opportunity for people with dementia and their carers to be part of a clinical trial is very important. The other thing is to encourage people who are interested in research, people early setting out on the research career, to make going into dementia or Alzheimer's disease something that's very interesting. Many of the needs of the mental health problems in older people were not really given the attention that they deserved. A lot of people imagined, well, when you get older, you know, your memory goes, you become forgetful, it's part of normal aging, so, you know, we shouldn't really do anything about it. But that for me was the real challenge. Research can help in a number of ways by looking at finding out the cause of Alzheimer's disease and developing new treatments that can either improve the symptoms or slow down the progression, because dementia is a progressive disease, I think are very important. Looking at methods of best practice, things that we know that to improve the care of people with dementia, to make living well with dementia a reality, and to understand what best care looks like for people who are looking after someone with dementia, whether that's in someone's own home or in a care home or in a general hospital. The challenge is recognising the symptoms early, making sure that people don't mistake them for normal aging and dismiss them as being something normal, so people have to get the correct investigation. And the research that Research Northwest have done as well is crucial in terms of supporting all the things that we are doing. And in the last 4 or 5 years we've had lots of awareness campaigns, lots of initiatives, and we'll probably quite soon be approaching 2/3 of the estimated number of people with dementia. Now is the opportunity to understand dementia and have an appreciation of dementia. I think for me dementia is important because there are huge opportunities to help a group of people and their families and their carers that I think up to now we probably haven't done our best for. To find effective treatments through best practice, through clinical practice and through research, and to make care better, for me, is the most important thing, and that's what makes me get up in the morning.